This month's tip is about weight shift. There's a fairly common mistake that I see with my students on the tee. They'll make a pretty good backswing. When they come through here, what they'll do is they'll be very flat-footed, which causes the left arm to collapse a little bit, and they'll end up with the hips not fully turned all the way through. Notice my belt buckle is not all the way through to the target, and the back foot finishing pretty flat on the ground. That will cause you to hit behind the ball fairly often. When you don't get your weight across, the club will reach the bottom of the arc a little bit too soon, and you'll tend to catch these shots a little fat or behind the ball, and you'll get that left arm collapsing very often as well, and the result will usually be, for the better players, will usually be a pull or a little hook, and with the higher handicap players it'll usually be a slice. But notice my hips haven't turned out of the way at all. So here's the cure for that. Notice what I've done here now is I've taken a shaft and I've stuck it in the ground, and I've put it on the, just kind of touching the inside of my right thigh there. So it's sticking back behind me in the ground, angled forward. My goal here is to try and push this shaft in towards that leg. So once I get to the top of the backswing, I want to start my downswing by kicking that right knee into the left. And as I start down, notice right there, I'm now got that shaft against my thigh and I'm pushing it. So by the time I get to impact, that right knee is kicked in and my weight is now over on my front side much better than it was before. Notice the two positions. This was the earlier swing where the knee wasn't, and that's the position now where that knee is kicked in, the weight is through, the hips have certainly turned more through the ball, and instead of that arm collapsing, now I'm getting a much better extension through the ball, and I'm going to get with my hips facing all the way through to the target rather than having my hips finish over here. So get into the habit, when you've finished your swing, of doing what I call hit and hold. Most students will hit the ball and will immediately come down to rake up the next ball. Get into the habit of posing at the end of your swing to feel and look for your position. Is your belt buckle all the way through to your target? Is the back foot all the way up on the toe so that you could pick up your back foot and not lose your balance? And have your hands finished up above your head. Notice here that at the end of this finish my hands are up above my head here. So work on those things. If you have difficulty with your weight shift, get that shaft in the ground and then push that shaft towards it. Feel the pressure of that shaft on the inner part of that thigh as you're pushing it. That gives you the feedback to tell you whether you are doing this move correctly or not. If you don't feel that shaft pushing up against your leg like that, you know that you're not getting that through fast enough. Work on that drill, and if you can improve your weight shift, I can guarantee you'll also improve your distance.